In March of 2022, XP to level 3 tweeted this. Imagine you're in a 7-Eleven and 4 armed people walk in, ask if they have any ballistic armor or stealth drones, try to buy an energy drink half off because they just solved a murder, then ask the cashier if they know where the mayor lives, and when he tells them, they leave a $500 tip. D&D parties are menaces to society, and that concept has stuck with me for a while now. The idea of trying to run a civilized establishment in a world where Dragon Hunter is a legitimate job title. Now, an idea for how I would turn this into a show started off half-baked at best. Would it be kind of an ambient style kind of sitcom, or would it be closer to a mockumentary? But then I finally got around to watching a little show called The Bear. Now, dramedy is one of my favorite genres. I feel like the drama makes the comedy hit harder and vice versa, but I've never been able to come up with one myself until I watched The Bear and came up with an idea. What if The Bear was set in a fantasy-style tavern? Welcome to Ozzy's Oasis. Now let's start with the basic format of the show. It would be very low-key, laid back, with each episode focusing on about 3 different character dynamics, one of which would be the center of the plot that episode. And the conflicts would be much more internal and emotional, not just physical. Ideally, each episode would end with a little animation of a fantasy-style recipe. Maybe we get Quincy's Tavern's help with this. That'd be cool. But since all the conflicts are character-focused, this means that the most important part are the characters. Let's introduce them, shall we? Ozzy is the namesake automaton owner of the tavern. He has a very mysterious past that he's glad to be away from, and while he's cordial enough, the pressure of running and maintaining his establishment has made him a bit of a cynic. Kolb is a gentle giant of a dragon man, as well as Ozzy's husband. While Ozzy mans the front desk and handles the people, Kolb's in the back in the kitchen making wonderful pastries and soups. He's very wholesome, as long as you're nice to his husband. Ludo is a posh faun who, as part of a rite of passage known as the Rove, has come to the material plane for the season. Needless to say, going from pampered fae royalty to janitor at a tavern is a bit of a culture shock. Trank is a mad scientist gnome, and Ozzy's oldest pal. She brews all of the drinks for the tavern, as well as some potions in her spare time, and is cryptic in a way that seems like nonsense, but when you figure out what she's saying, it's actually quite wise. Melody is the resident bard of the Oasis. She is the often seen bard archetype of poor, and while she enjoys performing, does it out of necessity. She's too cool to tell the others, but she does think of them as the family she never had. And finally, Nier, a gaunt elf who's just started his job as a dishwasher in the tavern. He's very nice, but nobody knows why he's there until the end of the first episode, when he reveals himself as the son of Ozzy's inventor. Now, like I mentioned, the episodes will focus on different character dynamics, so let's get into those. I've made a table and given each of the dynamics names, which I've found helps me write scenes with those 2 characters better. Ozzy and Trank know each other better than anybody. If Ozzy ever has a problem, he knows he can go to Trank. Ozzy and Nier are in a weird place. They don't hate each other, but they are painfully aware of the awkward situation they're in. Ozzy and Kolb are very affectionate. Yes, the tavern is a priority, but not as much as checking in on each other. Ozzy is willing to mentor Ludo, but not without instilling some humility. It's a valuable lesson, might as well knock him down a few pegs. Melody likes to act like she owns the place. Ozzy actually owns the place. Naturally, this creates friction. Trank sees it as her job to make Nier feel welcome. Unfortunately, she can be quite off-putting. You know when you meet the friend of a friend and rethink your entire dynamic with them? That's Kolb and Trank's whole vibe. Ludo's a bit classist, so is kind of bitter when Trank manages to do something better than him. Trank doesn't care. Melody seems to be the only one who can see the deeper meaning in what Trank says and often puts the deeper meaning in her songs. Remember when I said Kolb's only wholesome if you're nice to Ozzy? Well, Nier's father was not nice to Ozzy. Nier and Ludo are both former Nepo babies who are trying to be better, but they disagree on whether their new or old life is the better life. Melody is more than happy to show Nier what a normal person's life is like. Or maybe she just likes messing with him. Either way, Kalb is eager to teach Ludo the ins and outs of the material plane, even if Ludo isn't eager to learn. Now, while Melody doesn't tell anybody that she thinks of them as family, Kalb has definitely caught on. Whenever Ludo and Melody are interacting, somehow music and special effects always show up. And that is Ozzy's Oasis. At least the characters of Ozzy's Oasis. I want to keep the plot stuff to myself right now, mostly because I don't have it all the way figured out yet. Comment down below what you think would be a fun idea for a dramedy set in a fantasy tavern. If you'd like to make me make one of these ideas into a reality one day, you can support me on Patreon. And until next time, thank you for watching and thank you for liking movies.